So imagine this, you're set with what you want to paint, but how do you choose your colors? So I have two ways that I specifically choose my palettes when it comes to painting, and I'm all about color. Like, color is my thing. I just love color. I can go on and on talking about color, but there are two specific ways that I choose my color palette. But today, Zolly has sent me their product called Palette Scout. When I saw their message, I was like, oh, this seems quite interesting. So I want to unbox what they've sent me because I am quite interested in seeing what this can bring into my painting practice and how it can help me. So let's unbox this. So cute. Look at that. And it says ages 8+. My son is not old enough for this, but let's see. I love the box. The reason why I said, yes, sure, please send it to me, like I like to see what this product is about, is because I thought it could help me in terms of coming up with colors that I wouldn't have chosen otherwise. So I thought that would be a big plus. There's some other companies that send me things. I've started just getting reached by other products, like companies that want to kind of send their products for me to try out. And I just have this thing of I don't want to say yes to everything, obviously. I only want to say yes to the things that I actually use. But this was something quite different because I just thought, one, I am a color lover, and second, I just thought the use of this, like I could actually use this. This would be quite interesting. So it says play with color, Zolly, the Palette Scout. So this Zolly is basically, they have like pattern bundles, beginners kits to like do some sewing. They even sell yarns. And I used to do sewing, and I did go to like classes around sewing. So, but yeah, not planning to go back to that hobby just yet at this point. So it says, discover the world of color with a playful, open-ended experience for artists and makers for all ages. Learn about color in a fun, intuitive way and combine 180 colors into unique palettes. That sounds very fun. So let's open this up. I don't want to scratch it. I'm always like, how do I open that up? I'm so bad at these. Okay. See, I told you I'm bad at opening stuff. I just never seem to get it right. Okay, there was a bit that you can easily open it. Oh, darn it. See, I told you I'm not good at these kind of stuff. They had that thing where you pull off and it easily comes off. Miwa. Okay, so, ooh, I love this. I love this. Look how smooth, and oh my god, look at those colors. It reminds me of this year's Pantone color. I think it was the Mocha Mousse. Yeah, see this one? Oh, so pretty. Oh, I'm okay. I'm already excited about these palette ideas. Read, compliment. Okay, I have to learn how to use these. Okay, let's just open it first before getting excited. I had mixed feelings at first about this because, like, I was like, I already have. Well, I'll show you what I do normally do later, but like I have my own way of doing things, and I don't know if this is quite if it'll help, but actually this is really fun. Okay, so let's look at how to use them. 3 ways to scout. Follow the steps in this booklet to recreate your own palettes using color theory. Explore color with the challenge cards. Take out your cards and play. Okay, so how to make a color palette. Each hue starts with the above card. Use this as your key to making your own palettes. Here we'll explore complementary pairing together. All colors for this hue, and then palette combination ideas in the back. Huh, okay. And make your first palette, Ember and Neptune. To create a complementary color palette, lay out all 5 Ember cards and all 5 Neptune cards. Let's try this out. Okay, but I'm going to get the Ember card. Now the Ember is here. Okay, Ember, here we are. So all colors for this hue is right here. Okay, like this. All colors for this hue is right here. Each hue starts with the above card. Use this as your key to making your own palettes. Okay, so I guess I have to find the palettes from here. Okay, these are the palette cards. 2, 3, and then 4, and then 5. Cool, we got it. So these are all the Ember cards. And then all 5 Neptune cards. Okay, let's find Neptune. Must be in here because these are split into the cool colors and the warm colors. And then it says at least 3 of the cards to create your palette. 3 total, right? Okay, so I think I just love that orange and this light, and then that dark blue. I think, but I like light blue, but no, I need some contrast. So I think I'll pick these. I'll just put that aside for now. So my palette would be this. And then it says, select a palette that includes a range of values across both hues so your design has good contrast. I see, so it's just, I guess, not 3. But then, oh well. Anyways, yeah, I think that's what I like. Okay, and then I'm not gonna take a photo for now, but flip over each card to see the same palette in muted tones. Okay, use all tones for a calm, subdued palette and mixed tones and brights for more depth and complexity. It's just telling me you could flip these colors and put a bit of grays in there. I think I like how this one is. Huh, interesting. No, I like to keep it like that. How about this one? No. That's so weird. I tend to like the grays. I think I like that one actually. Yeah, a bit muted ones for that one. Tip, monochromatic pairings work especially well mixing brights and tones. Give it a try. Okay, and then it goes into different palette types. You know what's weird? I typically like the triadic. I often go to the triadic for my paintings. Another way to do it is, so explore the color with their challenge cards. Let's try to do this then once. I'm gonna pick one. Make a color palette that evokes the feeling of delight. Ask a friend to do the same. What is similar and different about your palettes? Okay, a color palette that evokes the feeling of delight. I think for me, delight is, I think we're kind of going back, but I love midnight. And then I always need some kind of very vibrant orange. Even maybe a lighter shade. Yeah, maybe that one. Okay, and then some blue. I think that's my color of delight. And the other way of doing it, go outside and find something with a color you love, a leaf, a flower, anything. Match it to the closest card and then use the palette ideas card to make a triadic color palette. I'm just gonna say I got this from outside. I think that maybe that one. Okay, that's in there. And then that is definitely in there. And then the greens, it's kind of like a olivey green, but maybe it's more closer to that. And then it's got a yellowy white to it. Maybe that one. Okay, but I think those are the color palettes that I see. I'm gonna just choose one of the colors and do a triadic color palette with this. I guess I'll just add a red just to see what kind of color palette, color choices will look good with this one. I would even go with this. Oh, that's super pretty. I love that. Okay, so there you have it. This is one way to use it. I guess just choosing it from the set of cards that you have is also one way of using it. I'm really loving it. It's just, I mean, there's few colors that I wouldn't necessarily go for, and I think I was right in terms of this will give me kind of like a quick look into what kind of colors there are options out there for me to choose from, and I really like it. And I wouldn't have necessarily all these colors, and what I do make, I'm going to show you real soon, is the swatches that I have for each specific pigments that I have in my collection. But one thing I can't necessarily do is look at the desaturated version of the colors and the tonal values that they might that they can range within. So that's some good insight actually, to quickly kind of go into it and be like, okay, that looks nice, and then create those with the pigments that I have. So this is typically the way that I choose my color palette. Like the number one way that I choose it is basically I just pick a color for my swatches. So these are all my swatches that I've accumulated over time. I have more actually, but this is part of it. And what I typically do is when I get like a paint tube, I would swatch everything. And I will write basically the name of the color, the brand, if it's granulating, transparent, light fast, and also staining level, as well as the pigment information. The pigment information is quite important for me, because then if I know that some of these are mixed, like they have multiple color pigments inside, then I'll be like, oh, I can't mix those two because that will create a bit of a muddy look and so forth. So this is a good information to have. And basically I have a very dark line over here, so when I go over it with the first layer, I can see how opaque it is. And I go a second layer once it's dry to see how dark it can get on the second layer. So this has been quite good for me. I think I picked it up from Mind of Watercolors, and I added a bit of few extras from, I don't know, it's just mingled into one kind of way that I do now. And typically what I will do is that I will pick one color that I'm really feeling. Like, color is so huge. It just sets the tone of your painting, right? Like the mood and everything. So I have a certain color that I'm feeling that time. So like here, I've created a painting of a deer, which I haven't posted yet, and I'll be posting this whole process. So what I've used here was, I was like, okay, I love this color Haze Blue by Schmincke. So this was it. And I was like, okay, I'm really loving that color, but I also want to use something green and earthy because it's going to be a deer, and I wanted something green in the background of the deer. So I've used Schmincke Desert Green, which kind of looks lovely. And then I thought, but I think I need more greens because I'll have more woody area in the background. And I thought Cobalt Green Deep kind of goes well. And then I just start swatching many times. So I kind of did the same thing here. Actually, this was Soda Light Genuine. It was a different color, but I tested out to see whether this works or the Soda Light Genuine, the Desert Green and the Cobalt Green look better together. So you have to kind of mix all these colors that you will be using in order to know what it looks like on paper. Kind of spread myself quite a lot here, but then I thought, okay, for the lightest light, I'm using Buff Titanium. And then for the skies, I'm using this color, by Schmincke that I love, the haze blue. And then I thought for the background, which seems a bit away, I'm going to use this green, earthy green, but super granulating, the desert green. And then I thought for the greens that stand out to the front, I'm going to use the cobalt green deep. And then for the deer, I thought, okay, I'm going to use the magic wizard. Where is the magic wizard? The magic wizard is gone. Oh, poof, it went. Okay, but anyways, magic wizard is this color right here. So for the creature, I'll use that. And for the lightest light, I think I used that actually. And then I was going to use the lapis brown, but then my mind changed. And then I used more of the bloodstone genuine to go for the darkest dark and not just go too crazy with the colors. And for like these very bold strokes, I just wanted to add a punch in there. So I've added this transparent pearl orange by Daniel Smith, and also actually cobalt violet hue, which didn't quite work. But anyways, you get my point. Oh, magic wizard was here. Okay, so I kind of went quite crazy with the color palette for this one. So, but basically what I want to say is like, it's just really what I feel like, and I just use my swatches here that I have readily available, and the paper, because this is the surface that we'll be working on, I use the paper to see how it mixes together, because mixing can happen on the paper. So that's how I do it. I just create the range, and when I look at this, it's so pretty. I'm like, of course, this is perfect. But when I do mix it, I tend to kind of think about, okay, like the skies will go there. What most likely is gonna mix with that buff, the lightest light of the skies? Okay, haze blue. Okay, what comes next, and so forth, because so then you'll know how it actually looks like when you start painting and mixing those colors together. So yeah, basically that's how I create my color choices in paint. So let's get started with creating these palettes. So midnight, I know for sure that that color is very close to my, where's my lavender from Holbein? So you'll just get the hang of these, like you'll get into the hang of, oh, this color should be close to this color. So I think it's a mixture of these two. So I'm gonna leave that aside. Blue looks quite close to, nah, I think cobalt turquoise, green turquoise by Schmincke. That's the closest that I think it is. This olive green. I don't have much greens, but let's just see what comes close. Undersea green looks quite close too. I think sap green by Daniel Smith actually works as well, so I think I'll choose that. I don't see my, that's weird. I don't see my sap green. Oh yeah, I have it somewhere else right now because I'm working on a project, but okay, sap green I think is good. I think this would be close to quinacridone coral, but let's see. Actually, pyrrole red is quite close too. Yeah, quinacridone coral. I think that is one of my favorite colors as well. So funny, huh? How we just tend to go for the colors that we love. And amber. What color was amber? Amber is basically this. Huh. It's interesting. Amber is yellow. But for a change, I think I'll use buff titanium. So here it is. This is how I choose my palettes, and then I'll start swatching on the scrap papers that I have of the same paper that I'll be using for the final painting, because papers tend to react differently to certain pigments, and you don't want that variation to happen. You want to know pretty much close enough to what it'll look on paper. So these are all the colors that I've got. So that's one way how I choose a palette. One of the ways that I look for inspirations is on, you guessed it, Pinterest. You could just color like palette And then if there's a certain color like cobalt turquoise that I love, it'll come up with like mixes that work really well. Like that's damn pretty. Let's see. And I mean, if it's out there, it basically means that like it's been used quite a lot. So you can even start off with that and be like, oh, but I want to add like a color that you wouldn't necessarily choose, and then add a different color even from this palette scout and see if it works. So that's the two ways that I choose my colors, and I'm definitely going to be using this one for sure. So yeah, if you have any ways that you choose your color palettes, let me know in the comments below. I love to learn from all of you. I've been learning so much. So thank you for being in this community, and hope to see you in the next video. And from here on, I will be sharing with you what I create with these colors that I've chosen today. I really enjoyed working with this palette scout that Zolly sent me. Otherwise, I would have just probably went with my feelings, what colors, and this kind of gave me the base, so to speak. So I picked this, the colors, the swatches that I have that are relatively close to these colors. You can also mix them. Two things that I forgot to mention is that what I didn't do quite good here, apart from I wanted to finish it within an hour, so it was like a quick painting session, but I should have focused on what percentage I was going to use each of these colors. So because I didn't really set that tone before I painted, it got fancy, too rainbowy. So if I were to do it second time, I would probably be like, okay, the midnight color, I am going to use like 60% of that. Okay, the next one, the ocean, I'm going to use like 20% of that. And then I'm going to use 10% of the reed, 5% of the amber, and so forth, and just a bit of the hibiscus here and there. So that's the kind of way that you should probably approach when you use so many colors, because it could end up like a rainbow, a unicorn palette. So that would be one thing. The second thing, I thought I forgot to mention how I choose my colors, apart from what I'm feeling like, going through my swatches that I have, or going through Pinterest. Another similar thing to Pinterest, looking for inspiration, is if you notice things, you can even find something outside that inspires you with colors. Because when I was picking up my son back in Munich, Germany, I saw this poster of Shogun, that TV series Shogun, and I was like, why am I so attracted to it? Why? And I was like, it's the color palette. Okay, what colors are those? I have aqua green and the cadmium red maybe. And that's how I started to think, and I was like, I have to make a painting out of this color palette. So some things just catch you, and you just have to notice when something catches your eyes and your attention is drawn. So I think that's where the color choices can also come from. Just try to notice things outside. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know how you get inspired or select your colors for your paintings. I love to hear them in the comments below. Okay, until next time, take care. Bye bye.